I would give it all away. Beep radio is so much like when Dixie Radio was.
Oh, I'm like, what's beep radio?
It's all the same fucking songs, and they always get stuck in my head, and I know all the words, even though I never actually listened to them in my personal life. And I won't.
You know what's great? We have 2 sound systems at work.
So in the front lobby, you can put on, the classical elevator music, and in the back lobby, you can play WAP whenever you want.
Well, I didn't realize I can't. I have to put on, the radio. It's either that or the radio.
Do they have WAP radio?
No. I don't think so. At least not where we live.
Do they have DOP radio?
No. They have,
I think dry ass pussy would just be like the gator.
Yeah. Dry.
You didn't get it when I said DOP? Damn.
Because I thought it was DOP. It's more like DAP.
Yeah, but they don't say WAP. Wait, do people say WAP?
Mm-mm.
It's WAP.
Yeah.
Even though, it's wet ass pussy, not wet ass pussy.
That's the name of the episode.
Got the title right in the first 10 seconds.
We have not even started.
Oh.
I'm Tamara.
And I'm, as always, Ariel.
And welcome to Fearful Friends Podcast. So we took 2 weeks off.
Sure
we
did.
are back.
We are rejuvenated.
I'm not. Rell went on vacation.
I'm also not rejuvenated. Technically, I am running on 3 hours of sleep.
Okay. Yeah.
For the week, though, a cumulative 14 between all the days in the week. Because people have started shooting off fireworks last week.
Yeah.
You've been on vacation, too.
Yes. Yep. I've been trying to finish everything at my house.
How much more do you have left to do? You showed me a little bit. You still have half your kitchen painted. Your kitchen kind of looks like Two-Face from Batman right now. It's just one side is white, one side's brown.
Yeah, and then I have to do the backsplash. And then I have to finish putting all the wall plates, the switch plates up. Because they were
You and your fucking switch plates. You are so obsessed with switch plates. And you always have been.
They were disgusting and the almond.
You don't want to just paint them, screwdriver and all, the little screw hole and all, so that nobody can ever take them off again?
No, I don't.
Give it the real landlord special. Do you know what I love is when people paint the actual light switch?
I don't.
It's fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
It is a fallacy. Yeah. That's not the right word.
Or the outlet.
Yeah.
And it's not white. They don't paint it white, and then they put the white face paint on it. Face plate.
Face paint? Did you say face paint? Yeah. Outlets do look like a face. Mm-hmm. 2 little eyes, and then a mouth going, ah, don't put that in there.
They're always really shocked by you.
They're rape victims, Tamara. They didn't ask to get penetrated every day.
You're right. I never thought about it that way. You're dirty.
So jinx, now you can't talk for the rest of the podcast. It's the Rell show now, everyone. Let me tell you about my vacation.
Wow, we just
still
lost
can't talk.
All 2 listeners.
One of those listeners is me, so ouch.
No, tell me about your what has happened since I've seen you last?
It has been a fortnight, I think. 2 weeks?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
It's been a while. What's happened? Job's going good. I'm finally getting used to it. I'm feeling a lot less panicky every day. The first week of the job, I was just like, oh my fucking God, I made a mistake. What am I doing? But now all my coworkers are commenting dude, I've never seen you smile so much. Literally, I didn't know you knew how to smile. And I was wow, it's because I actually I don't have to deal with these fucking piece of shit old people anymore. I get to stay in the back room. Granted, it is hot as Satan's taint back there, but it's free of customers, except for when they poke their head in the back room and go, can you help me find broccoli? Still get those. So that's going good. And for my vacation, this was the first vacation I've ever taken since I started working at my current job, where I have not worried about how my shit's going to look when I get back. It's just such a relief. It felt like an actual vacation. First, we went to North Carolina for a celebration of life for someone who died in December, which was fun.
Yeah.
I got to wear a
Does not
cute
sound
dress. And North Carolina is just like, it's my soulmate state. Like, we're meant to be together. I know I'm going to marry that boy one day, you know?
Okay.
Me in North Carolina. We're going to get hitched. I'm going to live in the mountains and just do stuff to it.
My grandparents used to have a cabin on a mountain.
Fuck yeah, dude. Do they still? Did they sell it?
No, my grandma sold it. I forgot I have to actually like talk loud into this. Yeah.
That would be really good for editing purposes.
Yep.
But yeah, like that could be like our retirement plan one day, Tamara. Get some
It
real
was either
estate on a
North
mountain.
Carolina or South Carolina. I don't know.
Honestly, I did
was in
not think
Highlands.
I didn't think I was gonna like South Carolina. But we went to Charleston after North Carolina, and aside from the heat, which was something I was not ready for, even though I've lived in Florida more than half my life, it was so much hotter there than it was here. But it was like really, really pretty, and all their cemeteries are unlocked all the time.
Aren't all cemeteries unlocked?
No. Everywhere that Matt and I have ever been, New Orleans, St. Augustine, all those fucking cemeteries are locked, and you have to pay for the tour to get in, which I'm like, that shit fucking adds up. That's, you know, it's $50 a person or whatever, but then, you know, it's $100 for every single thing you want to do. And we just don't know how, I mean, we have the money, but I'd rather spend the money somewhere else, you know,
Right.
like a cute shirt or something. But
I think I'm just thinking of like open cemeteries.
yeah, like cemeteries here, they're open, but they're also boring as fuck.
Yeah.
We in Florida are not allowed to have like, you know, the big cathedral looking above ground tombstones. And like in Charleston and New Orleans and stuff like that. Oh my God, I have to show you these pictures. These are like fucking like, they're like from the movies. They're just fucking beautiful. And they're so old. Like I think the oldest headstone that we found, that was like our fun thing to do when we needed to get shade, was just walk around the cemetery because it's like the only fucking place with shade.
Oh, jeez.
We would just walk around the cemeteries and try to find the oldest tombstone we could. So the oldest one we found was like 1737. Yeah. We found a couple headstones from like people who like signed the Declaration of Independence. I don't know why I just said it like that. The Declaration. But yeah, I was like, it was so cool. And then I crossed a couple things off of a list of, you know, things that I'm glad I did, but things I never want to do again. One of those being, we went to Fort Sumter, which is like on like an island, and you have to take a ferry out to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the ferry actually goes around a gigantic battleship that is no longer in service. And you know how I feel about really, really big boats in the water.
Yeah.
Especially ones that are allegedly haunted and they're just really, really scary. Well, like the ferry, I have a video. The ferry literally takes you like under the bow. And I'm just looking up like, too tall.
Is it like all like, it's not like sunken in?
No, I mean, like, it's above land, and they have, like, tours going through it. They actually have a nighttime ghost tour, and Matt and I really wanted to do it, but we just didn't have time to squeeze it in. Next time, we want to go back. We really liked Charleston, and there were so many things we didn't get to do because of my anxiety. But I've learned that I'm not a tourist because I just can't hang out with those people with their weird sun hats, and they all smell like sunscreen. They're always complaining. I mean, I know I am too, but I don't want to be near them.
Can we get you some Xanax or something?
We brought our vape pen with me, and I was too scared to smoke it because I thought it was going to make me more sick.
Yeah.
But, God, it was so much fun. And then I came back, and Lulu came with us. She did so good. We got her, like, a little backpack, and she's just, like, bouncing up and down in the backpack, and got so many compliments.
Like, bark like crazy?
The only time she barked was, like, when she was on leash, and there was, like, another dog around. She wanted to say hi. That's fucking apparently how she says hi. She barks like a feral animal. But, like, there were horses all over the place.
My dog jumps up and down. She hops when she sees other dogs. And it's not cute when there's a pit bull trying to hop at you, who also has some...
And she's fucking big, too.
Who also has, what do we call it? Flesh pedestrian, awkward way.
She definitely is exhibiting some signs of being, I'm going to say it, a skinwalker.
Creepy.
We will maybe post some of those pictures on the Instagram. I'm also going to post probably the video of the giant fucking ship so that everyone can feel my terror. And I'm also going to post a picture that I sent to Mara while I was on vacation of a water corn dog in the wild, which I found at a cemetery. If anybody remembers that episode, pretty sure it was I think it was the last episode I did with the missing Mike. I can't remember his last name at this present time.
The missing Mike.
The missing Mike in Florida is what I remember. God, I want to say Waterman's his last name, but now I'm just thinking of water. And God, Coney Island hot dogs.
Corn dogs.
Anyways, how was your vacation?
Pretty boring.
She did house stuff.
Yeah. I have to go back to a stressful job where everything's screwed up when I get back. And that pisses me off.
It's really hard.
Because, like, what I do, like, everyone else can fucking pitch in and do it.
Yeah. They just won't because you're going to come back and fix everything. So why would they?
Yeah. And not only that, like, every client's like, oh my God, where were you? Where were you? You were here.
I couldn't check my balance for the third time in a day.
You were here and I just can't hear. You have to tell me.
You need to send out an email to all your regulars. Please don't panic. I'm taking a couple days off. You can do all of this online. Feel free to do this also online when I get back.
Yeah.
Don't stop now.
You think I like seeing you? I don't.
This smile? Totally plastic surgery, baby.
Yeah. No, it's either that or it's like someone will walk in and I'm like, hi, Mr. Lindy. And he's like, every time I come in here, there's new people. And I'm like,
Jesus fucking Christ.
First of all, like the most recent new hire in our building has been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not you.
The other two, me and someone else, we've been here for 5 years. The other two people that I work with have been here for over 25 years.
You should start
something
saying
is fucking
that to
wrong with you.
customers. Every time I come in here, there's new people.
How do you think I knew your name when you walked up? Ugh,
He probably thinks that you like scanned his credit card from your alien robots outside or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Taking their identities and whatnot.
Because I would give a shit.
I don't give a shit who you are, Mike. Steve.
I went to the beach today. I went to our beach.
Was there anyone there?
It was not
literally
crazy.
1 hour ago, Matt said, I really wanted to go to the beach this weekend, but then I thought, let's not do it because of all the heat advisories. And I was just like, well, if we could get into our beach, there's shade there. But I was just like, there's probably a bunch of fucking jock straps there.
That's why we went today, the day after 4th of July, because it was like...
I would have thought it would be just as busy because people are, like, everyone I know, except for everyone that works in retail, obviously. Mm-hmm. Even Matt got a 4-day weekend. And he just got back from a 2-week vacation.
Oh, jeez.
I know. But, like, everyone I know is taking the 4-day weekend. So I figured today, of all days, would be busier because there are some people who didn't get yesterday off who...
Maybe they were just hungover.
Maybe. We were kind of slow at work today. Fine by me.
Yeah.
I pity. You know what? I don't pity all of you people that were hungover because I had to wake up at 4 a.m. this morning and my dog kept me up till 2 a.m. last night because of you and your fucking fireworks. Oh. I'm over it. We're going to start a fight. Come at me. Fearfulfriendspodcast at gmail.com. Do you like fireworks? Tell me one valid reason why that is worth keeping me and my dogs up at night. I will fight you.
I have bad news for you. Rich had so many fireworks.
I know. But and then I'm just like, oh, how's Lucy? And you're like, bitch, she's just sitting next to me looking at me like she's about to eat a corn on the cob. Like, yeah. I don't know. And then she sent me a picture and Lucy's literally sitting on the couch upright like a fucking human. Flesh pedestrian.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should probably post that on the pod too. Because that is... proof right there.
She will watch
something
TV.
Extraterrestrial.
No lie, she watches TV and then when commercials come on, she's like looking away.
So
it's
bored of these
so
commercials.
Weird.
And I bet when when the Star Wars beginning comes on and there's all those words to read, she's just, you can see her eyes just left to right, left to right, left to right. And it's like, Oh my God, do you know what the Jedi's saying?
Yeah, and so we went snorkeling over there.
Ugh,
and
it's hot.
Em went snorkeling. Like, she full on had a mask and was diving down and, like, getting closer to things in the water.
It creeps me out that your child can swim. I mean, I know it's good, but, like, it's creepy to see things that small swim. Don't like big boats swimming. Don't like little babies swimming.
She's 7. She's not a little baby.
I couldn't swim at 7.
Well, because you didn't live in Florida.
First of all, I have been in the water since I was a fetus. Second of all, I only learned how to swim when I was like 12 because I got pushed in the water and it was sink or swim, bitch.
What were you doing in the water if you didn't know how to swim?
Well, you could walk out to this barge and then we climbed up on the barge and I would always jump on the shallow side because there was like a, what's it called?
Like a dip in the water. Like a
cliff?
Yeah.
The Marianas Trench, kind of. So I would always jump off the shallow side. But then my brother's friend pushed me off the deep side. You know what I did? I sunk all the way down to the bottom till I hit the sand. And then I kicked off the sand all the way to the top. And I just did that the whole way.
Oh my God.
Ask Tyler. Ask my brother. I'm not making that up. That's how I learned how to swim. So how were the fireworks?
Really good. Like, he got like the big ones that go up in the air. And he got like some that were like the single ones, but then he also got these multi-packs so that the big ones would just keep shooting up into the air and like doing the explosions, and it's like right over your head. It's so cool.
Any more like creepy people show up?
No.
Well, that's good.
That's crazy because, like, I swear to God, I've met that guy before and he did not look like that. And I wasn't going to say it when he was in my house, and I was like, what is your name?
I'm like FaceTiming her and this man just like walks in. He's like, hey. And she's like, who are you?
No, he goes, didn't you move out of here? And I was like, what? Just walks in my house and I'm like, hey.
This bitch just looks so calm though. Meanwhile, I'm on the other end of the phone with my jaw on the floor and I'm just like, you need to be freaking out. Some strange man has just walked into your house and your dog is sitting there, not even flinching. She didn't even look over at him.
I fucking care.
She was just watching the TV. She's like, Maury's on.
Like, I figured that it was Rich's friend because he said his friend's coming over, but then, like, because
he had already had friends coming over, so he didn't specify that he had stragglers.
Well, I knew this specific person was coming over, and I knew his name, and I've seen him once when he was helping us move.
Okay,
but I swear to God, he looked different. This guy, whatever. Anyway,
so scary.
So I didn't recognize his face really, like, but I was like,
I hope they don't
think
listen.
I know him. I highly doubt that.
That's good.
Yeah,
your husband.
But then.
Listens.
Because he was like, didn't you move out of here? Didn't I help you move? And I was like, did he
First of all, yeah, you're here right now, which means we didn't move out.
So I was like, wait, is he trying to meet up with the people that lived here before us? Or is he just he meant to maybe, because we're in a duplex, go to the other side?
God.
I'm like, because they were also having people over, and I'm like, what is your name?
I just would have lost my shit. I would have ran to the kitchen, grabbed a frying pan, and chased him out of there.
It was all very quick, and I just like needed to know his name.
It wasn't quick. I was on the phone with you. You just sat there like, hi?
He was asking me questions. Didn't you just move out of here? And I'm like, what?
I was also very confused.
I'm like, are you here to see Richie? What is your name?
What is your name, sir? You didn't sign the guest book.
Finally, I got his name out of him, and I was like, they're outside.
Okay, well, are you ready for my story or nah?
I think so, yeah.
Okie dokie. So the story I'm going to cover today is a missing persons case.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever done a missing persons case. Ooh. I know you have, Bryce Las Pisa.
Mm-hmm. Where are they missing from?
California.
Okay.
So, like, you know, not super close. I couldn't find, like, a...
That's where Bryce was missing from, too.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was from, like, a smaller state. Like, one of those,
small
like, country
town
cities.
in California. Is his name Bryce, the guy you did a report on?
No. Today we're going to talk about Davohnte Morgan.
Okay, I'm going to look up his picture just because...
I'm going to kill you every time. And then I feel like you don't pay attention to me.
I'm just going to look up his picture.
What did I tell you yesterday, Tamara?
I don't know.
I need the attention.
You told me a lot of things
I used to
yesterday.
try to be friends with my parents' friends because I needed the attention. You're not looking at me. I'm going to take this opportunity to pour myself my third beer of my kick off the weekend celebration bash bonanza fiesta.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready?
Yeah, I just had to put a face to the story.
He's beautiful, isn't he? He's got a really pretty,
a
this
very
one actually,
nice smile.
Yes.
And like a kind face.
This one really got me, like made me like choke up because, yeah, he looks, you know, so approachable, so friendly. He looks like he would just like help anybody, and he's got such a cute smile. So Davohnte was born March 15th, 1992.
That's M's birthday.
I know. He grew up with his family in San Francisco, California, and he was super close with his family. Like, never missed a birthday or any special occasion, and he rarely even left the area because he wanted to stay close to them. He was super personable, loving, had a beautiful smile, really popular in school, just like such a good soul. And he loved music. He could do it all, play it all. He sang, he played drums, he rapped, he played piano. And his aunt, when she was like talking about him and remembering him, she said that growing up he had problems with stuttering for like 12 years. And she said the only time he didn't stutter is when he was singing or rapping, which shows like the talent that he had. And, you know, he was just such a special person to so many people. Davohnte met his girlfriend 1 year before he went missing. And they apparently they met at a concert in 2019 and they locked eyes right away and were just smitten from that moment. She was 20 years older than him, but the age difference really didn't bother him or his family as long as he was happy. And at first it seemed like he was, you know, from what they could see. But, you know, she was trying to get him out of his comfort zone, you know, like take him outside the family a little bit because he was so close to them. And they would travel, see what's out there, you know, show him new places he hasn't seen or been, and just try to show him that there's a whole world of possibilities out there outside of San Francisco.
Someone needs to do that with my husband.
You've tried. It failed. What did you say he was? Agoraphobic?
Yeah.
Is that afraid of people?
Afraid of leaving your house.
Oh, is that what that means?
Yeah.
I'm afraid of people. I'm not afraid of leaving my house. Like, I went to Charleston. What got me was the fucking crowds of people. I'm like, I can't do this. You know what? I think it's like the whole shooters thing. When you're in a crowd, a crowd's a problem.
I don't know what it is for him, but he'll like have an excuse as to why he can't do things too.
Yeah. Well, if it's anything
crazy.
like me, like I got physically, like I felt like I was going to throw up the whole time. So like he probably is just like, well, I can't go because I'm just going to throw up. I'm just going to have to go to the bathroom and throw up. It's going to ruin everything.
He's going to have a panic attack and his heart's going to stop.
Maybe he should smoke some weed.
My God, he would never. And he judges me when I eat a freaking edible. My God. He won't even take like 2 Advil at a time.
At a time?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. When I threw my back out, I was taking 6 Advil at a time.
I'm like, I have such a bad headache.
You have to. My chiropractor told me 2 Advil will help with like, you know, menstrual cramps. 3 Advil will start with inflammation, but 4 or more Advil will help with like long-term inflammation relief and like extreme pain.
Mm.
Now you gotta like, you know, not drink, take it with a fucking full stomach, lest you have liver problems, but...
Yeah, I always save, anytime I get like a prescription strength ibuprofen.
Take with food.
I save them for times like if I get like a really, really, really like gnarly migraine.
Yeah.
Or like hurt my back or something.
Yeah.
Or have
Wicked
kidney
cramps.
stones.
Oh. So it's still happening frequently?
No.
Oh, that's
only twice.
I thought I was going to hiccup for a second there. So we're good. I was like, no, not now. Not now.
I've been getting hiccups at work and it's so embarrassing.
You're just on the you're on the speaker at the drive-thru. Hello.
Yeah. Because you know it's always going to come.
Do you ever get like the really embarrassing ones where you just straight up sound like a frog and you can't control it and you're like, ugh!
Yes.
That happens to me all the fucking time. You think they're gone and then you go to take a breath and it's like,
no, you got to say something and you're like, Sorry about the hiccups.
Sorry. I wasn't throwing up, I promise.
Back to Davohnte. I don't know how we got
Davohnte. Yeah, I don't know how we...
Traveling.
What happened? Okay, yes. Girlfriend. She's 20 years older than him. She's showing him shit. They seemed happy at first, but it didn't take long before some red flags were, noticeable to his family. She was super demanding of him. She was very combative. Davonte's family said that she always wanted to fight about something, and we all know someone like that. Someone that just like thrives on the drama. They will just start fights from nothing just to have a fight. Never a peaceful relationship. There's always got to be some kind of drama. So, May 4th, 2020, which is like kind of a crazy time for them to even be traveling, right?
Well, it's like
3
right
months
before.
into the pandemic.
No.
The pandemic?
I'm
sorry.
What did you say, May or March?
So 2 months into the pandemic.
Okay. Yeah.
Like March was when shit started shutting down. Especially in California. So I'm surprised they were even traveling. Ooh, this is another layer that they didn't discuss on the documentary I watched. Why were they traveling during the pandemic?
Like even Disney World was shut down.
Huh.
I know that because I had tickets to go to Disney World.
I am even more suspicious now. Okay. She's spitting out ice cubes, everyone. God, in the messiest way possible.
I didn't want to lose what was in my mouth. I was going to...
She just gooshed.
I'm so used to eating ice cubes. And I was like, well, that's not going to be good in a microphone.
Okay. May 4th, 2020. May the 4th be with you.
Okay.
I hate when people say that. Sorry. Kill myself. Davohnte and his girlfriend decided to take a little overnight trip to Mount Shasta. Do you recognize that name? No, you don't. There's
Shasta.
Nothing in your eyes. Mount Shasta?
Shasta sounds familiar to me, but I think it's from a different crime thing in like Ohio.
Oh, okay. I think you're thinking of a person's name.
Okay.
Mount Shasta is about 4 hours north of San Francisco. They just wanted a quick little trip because Davonte's nephew was having a birthday party the following day, and he wouldn't have missed it for the world because, he was a family man. They booked a room at the Cold Creek Inn, which is spooky sounding. It wasn't spooky looking. It was just sounds spooky.
Mm-hmm.
It was right in the middle of town. Davohnte had broken his phone before the trip, so he had borrowed his girlfriend's phone to call his brother Anthony, probably just to let him know that they got there safe and sound. And Anthony said everything sounded totally normal. He didn't seem upset or worried or anything, and that was the last time he heard from his brother.
What?
Yeah. So when I was looking into this, I kept thinking like, damn, Mount Shasta sounds so familiar. And so I looked it up, and it's a spiritual town. It's a very small town. It's full of legends from different indigenous tribes in the area. And there's a lot of cult activity and, obviously spiritualism, the whole nine. So while most tourists visit the area for like the crystal shops and all the clairvoyants and shamans that are like on the main street, they're all drawn there like a magnet to this mountain. It's also believed to be a direct portal to another dimension, perhaps Lemuria, which is a lost continent like Atlantis that I will not get into right now because that could be a whole episode all on its own. Some people say that like Lemuria... I could be totally wrong. Maybe I shouldn't even say this, but like there's some species of alien that's allegedly supposed to be coming from Lemuria, like not the reptilians, but the Anunnaki allegedly come from Lemuria. Tamara's eyes are so wide. She's like, Rell, you've gone off the deep end.
Reel it back.
That's why I said maybe one day I will do an episode on Lemuria, but for right now, I can't fucking go there. So another reason that you might recognize the name of this town is because it was the temporary home of the recently infamous Love Has Won cult. That was in like that HBO documentary. And
I did not watch it.
I think ID put one out also. I'm sure you've heard of it though. It's the lady who...
Oh, the blue lady.
Yes, she drank colloidal silver. Yeah, so if you haven't heard about that cult, definitely go read about it. Go watch the documentaries because it's banana cuckoo nutballs. So needless to say, I'm thinking the girlfriend just wanted to go because she was, apparently super into crystals and sage smudging and astrology, and she was just
Sounds like
all of us.
yeah. Not Sonoma, Sedona.
Yes, yeah. It kind of gave me that vibe. But then, it has this mountain, which is supposed to be this beacon, this portal that just, draws all this energy in.
It's like a big mountain with, snow on it. I'm looking at pictures.
Yeah. And it, attracts all of these things. It attracts the cults and stuff like that. Could be Bigfoot. Big feet. You know what they say about big feet? There's a big foot. That's what they say. On May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We can cut that out. I said mayo. Cinco de mayonnaise.
Pee on your couch. Stop it.
Please don't. Lulu does that enough.
I can't control it.
Try.
Okay.
So, May 5th, the day of Davohonte's nephew's birthday party. His brother Anthony gets a phone call from the girlfriend this time, not from Davohonte. She tells him that her and Davohonte had gotten into an argument and that he just stormed off. Anthony was listening to her talk, and from her demeanor, he said that she didn't really seem at all worried about Davohonte, like she was just venting or something. So Anthony didn't really feel any alarm bells going off because he knew the couple had been fighting a lot, just all the time, because that's just how she was. And this is what they did. They would fight and then they would go take a walk to cool off, just away from each other. So he gets off the phone with her thinking this is just a normal argument. Give it some time. He's going to come back.
But why would she call?
Right? To
his
let
brother
him know. Because Davohonte didn't have a phone.
But still, okay, think of if Matt didn't have a phone and
he's
you
gonna
guys
call
got
my
into a
brother?
fight and then you guys got into a fight and then you called his brother to say, hey, we just got in a fight.
God, I would never call his brother.
I haven't seen it, right? That's weird.
No, I would call his mom. Maybe. I might text her.
Deal with your son.
Reel him in. Anyways, so May 7th, that's 2 days later, Davohonte's girlfriend calls Anthony again to tell him that he still hasn't come back yet. At this point, the family is definitely alarmed and tells her, the fuck are you doing?
Is she still there in
Mount Shasta, yeah.
So she extended her stay.
Right. So the family's just go to the fucking police station and file a missing persons report. What you waiting for? And at 9:16 that morning, she does just that. She goes there and she tells police that they checked into the hotel on May 4th at night. And then he woke her up in the middle of the night to have a cigarette. Probably I don't know, from all the things I'm reading, it's maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, maybe, yeah.
What was he asking permission?
He wanted her to come with him to smoke a cigarette outside.
I swear to God, if you would have ever woken me up for that.
Well, okay, so maybe you're on her side right now because she got mad. She was just really annoyed at him. Don't fucking wake me up. But nevertheless, she goes outside with him, and then they fucking realize that neither of them grabbed the hotel key on the way out. So they got locked out of the hotel. So this started a whole fight with them bickering about, you asked me to come out here. You didn't fucking grab the hotel key? Are you a fucking idiot? Shit like that all of us do. So they were finally able to get back into their room when they called the hotel manager to come by with the master key and let them back in. Mm-hmm. Then she told police that they fought until the morning hours, and she told him she was going to go watch the sunrise, and she said at that point he walked away in the opposite direction to cool off. She did tell them that this was pretty normal in their relationship. They would separate themselves just to calm down, and then they would return to each other when they became more level-headed, but that he'd never been away for this long. That was strange. So she gave them a description of what he looked like when what he looked like and what he was wearing. And she told them that his phone had been broken. So at this point, police make an observation that she, quote, didn't act upset. She acted loony. The officer taking her statement noted that her behavior was super inappropriate for the situation and that she really didn't come across as being worried about somebody that she cares about. She was acting more erratic. So that's red flag central.
What was she doing that was erratic?
She is very, like, when I say, like, she's into, like, the crystals and spiritualism and stuff, she was just kind of, like, out there. She's like, you know, like, when the moons are blah, 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 and, like, when he hides behind the mountain, you know. Like, she was just saying, like, off-the-wall shit.
That sounds like she's on drugs.
Could be. I don't know. She hasn't been heard from. She dropped out of this case, and nobody's contacted her since.
What?
We'll get there, baby.
Okay.
So.
And, like, another thing, like, okay. You break your phone.
Yes.
What's the first
replacement?
What's the first thing you go do?
I would go immediately this same day. Like, I don't even consider myself to be, like, a phone addict, but, like, I fucking need it.
Would you go out of town?
Absolutely fucking not. I wouldn't leave my house. I would leave my house to go to the phone store.
Yeah.
But, like, even when I go home, like, I will be almost at work. I'll realize I forgot my phone. And I won't be like, yeah, I can make it a day without my phone. No, I will turn around and go back and get my phone. What if something happens? What if I get into a car accident? How am I going to call anybody?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, that's so scary.
Like,
And I know that, like, it didn't always be like this. We didn't always need to be so connected to our phones. But
2020.
In
2020, we were.
Yes.
That was not that long ago.
Yeah.
And
that's your lifeline.
like, I could understand if you're, like, you know, really hard for money and you can't afford to go get another phone. But then you went on vacation.
You go to T-Mobile and they set you up a payment plan.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to. Those are a lot of phones that you can get $0 down. So, yeah, that's strange. Especially strange since he goes missing. You can't ping a broken phone. Was that coincidence?
Oh, he doesn't have a phone.
So, yeah, he doesn't have a phone. She is his only lifeline, and she is kind of useless.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't put her name in anything, because, like, technically she hasn't been charged with anything, but it's just like, They didn't put your name on anything because they knew you would be getting a lot of hate mail.
But you don't know her name?
No. Her name was not released because she has not been charged with anything.
I'm sure people have found her name.
Oh, I'm sure that they could, like, ask the family what her name was, or, you know, maybe on his social media accounts she was on there, but I don't know her name. She hasn't been charged with anything, so I'm not going to go and be like, it was her! She did it!
I don't know the whole story, but I feel like someone needs to dox her.
Tamara, we can't put calls like that out onto the internet, even if the only 2 listeners of this show are in this room right now. Because I'm very suggestible. So, we are currently in Red Flag Central. The family thinks she knows more than what she's saying, which we do too. Good call. They do not trust her, and for good reason.
I don't trust her. I'm looking at her face right now.
Davohnte has had a very challenging few years leading up to this point, and it doesn't really seem like his girlfriend has been supporting him in those challenges. So, to understand that better, let's go back in the time machine. Make the noise. 2017. Bing. Wow, that was great.
Yeah.
So insane.
Teamwork.
Davohnte was on his front porch. Someone was driving by, mistook him for someone else, and shot him through the hand and the pelvis. He was only 25 at the time, and this threw off his entire world. Not only was he struggling physically, but, you know, as it would any of us, it really traumatized him mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted so badly to get his normal life back that he kind of rushed through the healing process. And because of that, he developed a limp when he walked, which was just another thing that led him to feel like he wasn't normal and just sent him into a depression. So, like a lot of us struggling, he used alcohol and weed to cope. But his family never gave up on trying to keep his head above water, and he finally admitted that he wanted to change and that this wasn't the life for him. He was really trying to get to a place where he could be sober and healthy. He started going to the gym every day, taking steps to be the man he wanted to be, but at every turn it seemed like his girlfriend just wanted him to stay how he was and just hurt and under her thumb all the time, you know.
And she's in control.
Yeah. So, you know, she would keep pouring the drinks and encourage that behavior. And yeah, like, she understands me, you know. So, yeah, the family did not trust her. And she was the first person that they wanted to talk to when they arrived in Mount Shasta. And shocker, she wasn't all that helpful. Davohnte's family said it was like she was speaking in riddles. They would ask her a question and she would just go off on all these crazy tangents, and they couldn't follow what the hell she was talking about half the time. And with her acting so spacey and erratic, the family was kind of starting to freak out. Like, did she like fucking lose it and like do something to him? Like, they didn't know. And, you know, Davohnte was 28 at the time. So the cops originally didn't think anything malicious of his disappearance. They just thought he left to get some steam, or, you know, maybe he just wanted to get away from her. And
maybe he went to go get a phone.
Maybe. And maybe he got lost at the mall.
If you're gonna disappear and you don't have he's gonna go get a phone. Come on. Well, this lady, it sounds like she's on drugs.
She could be. I'm not sure. None of the articles that the sad thing is that like there wasn't a whole lot of information on him besides like the few news articles which basically repeated the same information, which is really sad because I do feel like if it was a white person, there would be so much fucking coverage. It would just be insane. But because he was black, like, it's just the same regurgitated information.
Right.
And, you know, we don't know. We don't know if she was using drugs. Like, the investigation wasn't done properly, and there were just so many things that just fucking slipped through the cracks, and, you know, now we don't have Davohnte. Yeah, they didn't really look into his disappearance at first because it was just like, whatever, he's a grown-up, he can disappear on his own. We hear it all the time. Maybe he wanted to disappear from her. That's fine, he's allowed to do that. But once the police saw how the family was, like, really worried, they were like, this is not normal. Like, we know him, this is not normal. Then the cops started being like, okay, so the girlfriend is off and the family is very worried. Maybe we need to look more into this. But at this point, it's been, you know, several days. She didn't even call it in until after the 48 hours. You know what they say.
Right. So
by May 11th, there's still no leads. A small search party of volunteers starts going. Volunteers organized by the family, mind you.
Oh my God.
They start going through the nearby woods, but it's a really small scale search and there's so much ground to cover. They just turn up nothing. All the while, his girlfriend just keeps popping off about energy and I manifest that he's going to return and all this shit, which is just like, you know, fine. If like that's what you want to do, you want to fucking manifest this shit, but like they don't have time for your bullshit. Can you put the crystals down and pick up a magnifying glass or something, you know? Like,
part of manifesting is actually like
putting
the work in.
So Davohnte, his family takes to the streets. They knock on doors. They hang flyers, you know, the whole shebang. They talk to everyone that drove past. And they come across a local woman who tells police that she remembers hearing an argument around 9:30 a.m. outside her house on May 5th. It's unclear if this was actually Davohnte and his girlfriend. Like, I couldn't find anything where it was just like, that's definitely them. But, you know, it's still interesting because if it was them, then the timeline that the girlfriend gave police would be off. Because she told them the fight was in the early morning hours and that they had already been separated by this point. So who knows there? It's around this time that Davohnte's girlfriend actually gets told to leave Mount Shasta by the family because she, at this point, is just getting in the way of this investigation. She keeps trying to tell them why she was in Mount Shasta in the first place, why they decided to vacation there. And like, dude, the family doesn't care. They don't care. They are looking for their missing loved one. They don't care about you or your crystals or your energy or any of that. They want to find Davohnte. So she goes home, bye-bye, and police now reclassify the case from voluntarily missing to missing under suspicious circumstances. So bravo. I'm glad it took them a whole week to do that.
Jeez.
By May 14th, police are beginning to access local surveillance footage, which it's a really small town, so like not a lot of places had it, but it is 2020, so, you know, more than there used to be. So they're trying to trace Davohnte's steps of that day, and they're able to find 10 different camera angles of him walking the streets. The first footage of Davohnte is at 9:14 a.m. So automatically, I think this kind of changes things with that lady who said that she heard arguing at 9:30, because they see him on footage walking by himself, unless something else happened in between the footage that we didn't see. Because they're little snippets, you know. So at 9:14, he's walking in front of the police department. Then another camera sees him crossing the street heading west. He crosses another street and heads into a local Valero gas station, where the footage inside shows him making a purchase at 9:20 at the register, and then he walks out. He then heads back east the way he came from. Then at 9:40, he's picked up on a street just a quarter of a mile north of the hotel he's staying at. Then 2 minutes later...
Picked up?
No. He's picked up on camera.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. He's picked up by a van. No, he's seen on camera. Then 2 minutes later, he's picked up on another camera. Walking past a few local shops. He's walking down like the main street. And then at 10, he's seen walking past a middle school. And a short time later, he's seen walking back in the direction of the hotel again. In the footage, he is walking calmly, normally, not intoxicated. He's not limping, tripping. He's just what seems to be, he's out for a normal stroll, just clearing his head. He's got his hands in his pockets. He's just looking around like, all right, taking in my surroundings, you know? And, you know, locals in the area say that it's super common for people to walk the streets just like that. It's a beautiful area. The weather was nice. There's mom and pop shops everywhere. Like, it's fucking normal. So then a strange tip comes in from a local mailman who says he claims that between 9:30 and 10, which, like, it could happen because we do have some missing time in between the footage. Between 9:30 and 10 on May 5th, he ran into a guy matching Davohnte's description, and this person asked him for directions to the hotel on Alma Street. Now, the hotel that he was staying at was not on Alma Street, but it was like a block away. It was like literally like a block and a half away. And it's a small town. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if that's like just the street that like stuck in your mind. You're
right,
like,
exactly. So the mailman tells him there's no hotel on Alma Street, but he says there's an apartment complex. So he assumes that that's what the guy means, and he gives this man the directions to the apartment complex. Now, this particular complex isn't anywhere near the hotel. So later that day, the mailman sees who he claims is Davohnte again, and he wasn't near the complex. So he stops his truck again. He assumes the guy got lost, and he pointed him in the direction of the apartments again, and he left. A little while later, the mailman sees him again, but not on the same street. And at this point, he was like, you know, whatever. I'm not going to give him directions to this apartment complex that he didn't ask about again.
Right.
So I keep giving him directions to a place he didn't ask to go, and he's still not there. How rude. Fucking asshole. So, like, I know eyewitness testimony can be a little wonky, but, like, you know, it could be something to consider that maybe he got turned around and wandered somewhere he wasn't welcome at this point. You know, who knows? But I don't know. It's very strange.
I feel like the demographics of this area, though,
they skew in the Blanco.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong there.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So, now it's almost been 1 month since Davohnte's been missing, and the police department finally has to admit that they are completely not equipped for this kind of investigation because they only have a few officers on hand. They've got like 2 or 3 officers on hand. They don't have access to search dogs, and they don't have any resources to keep these officers on the clock here like all the fucking time. Mm-hmm. So they finally called in the county search and rescue, which typically deals with people getting lost off of hiking trails and stuff like that. They started their search in a half-mile radius around the parking lot of the local library, which is like not near the hotel. I guess it's like kind of. I don't even think the fucking hotel was in the half-mile radius, so I don't know why they chose the library parking lot, but whatever.
Maybe it was close to where he was seen on the footage.
Maybe. So after they find nothing, they expand their search to a 1-mile radius, and then to the wooded area around it, where they brought in a team of searchers and cadaver dogs and stuff like that. But the county itself, is the size of Hawaii. Is that big? That's big, right? That's big. Mm-hmm. And there is just miles and miles and miles and miles of woods to search. Like, if you look at a fucking map of this area, it's a cute little town, and then like zoom out, it's just mountains and woods. Mm-hmm. It's forest. Right, yeah. There's nothing there. So without being able to narrow down a search area, they just couldn't justify, continuing to use all the resources. So after that, things just really slowed down. But the family, of course, kept going because they were not going to give up on Davohnte. They were still doing their door-to-doors and hanging flyers anywhere they could. But while they're doing this, it's becoming apparent to them that this town is predominantly Caucasian. And every day that they're hitting the streets, they're noticing all the flyers that they put up keep getting pulled down. And how fucking annoying is that? And not only that, but there is a truck that keeps driving by them with a big old Confederate flag on them. Almost like they're being watched. Anthony, who, remember is Davonte's brother, he told a story about how he walked up to the door of this one house to ask, if these people had seen his brother and hand them a flyer. And the guy opens the door, looks back at him and says, "No, I haven't seen him, but if I do, I'll be sure to tie him to a tree out back and give you a call." And then he pulled out a gun and told him to get off his property.
What is fucking wrong? Like, what?
Because they just don't fucking care. They just think of them as fucking animals, and it's just despicable. It's disgusting. And it still fucking happens today. In 2024, we are no fucking better than we were. Yeah, really, really hostile. And, it's not hard to imagine that if Davohnte did get lost or something and he crossed paths with someone who wanted to potentially hurt him just because of the, color of his skin, like, it's not hard to imagine that could have happened. Or if he did get lost and wander onto private property without realizing it, they wouldn't fucking hesitate to pull a gun out, obviously. So it's also no secret that this area has active KKK members. I actually kind of started digging into it, and I found an article where in December of the same year that Davohnte went missing, a community only an hour away from Mount Shasta was inundated with KKK recruitment flyers. In 2020. They were just putting them on fucking doorsteps. Hey, call this number if you want to be a part of the fucking white, whatever the fuck they call it.
Wow.
It's so disgusting. Yeah. All the while, the Mount Shasta officials, like the mayor and all that, they're just like, we are such a diverse town.
Diverse with what? Wildlife?
Like,
come on.
It's so funny because, yeah, like the documentary I watched, the mayor, she's white. And we are such a diverse town. We welcome all diversity. And there haven't been any hate crimes reported. That's the thing, is they're just like, when a hate crime's committed, it has to be reported. Who's gonna report it? The dead black man or the white KKK member who killed the black man?
Right.
So you don't have any hate crimes reported because nobody's reporting them. That doesn't mean it's not happening. Fucking idiots. Sure is what I say. They say that they're a diverse community built on respect and equality, and that they welcome diversity with open arms. At this point, I picture them on a podium making this statement just as that dude drives by with the Confederate flag on his truck, just throwing confetti of the KKK recruitment flyers in the air. Right. Diversify this. So July 24th of 2020, Anthony's back on the streets, and he sees a man outside of a Burger King and walks up to him to hand him a flyer. He asks him if he's seen Davohnte, and the dude's like, "Oh, you're Davonte's brother." And he's just like, "Yeah, I am," like, so excited. "Oh, I heard that he got picked up in a white van, was driven somewhere like 4 miles outside of town to be robbed, and then when Davohnte fought back, he was stabbed and thrown in the river."
Who would you hear that from?
Right. So, obviously shocked by this bombshell, Anthony went to the police with the tip, and they went out to the area this allegedly happened, but they found nothing, and no one claimed to have seen Davohnte. Because I'm sure that those people who, they would have been very forthcoming with that information had they done that.
Right.
Because, people are so forthcoming with their hate crimes.
Yeah, no, I saw him when I was killing him.
Yeah. But, because they didn't have the resources and they didn't see any evidence of foul play, they didn't even bother to search the river because they did not feel like there was a reason to. So police got their last potential lead in 2021 when a badly burned corpse had been found about an hour north of Mount Shasta, which I'm just like, it's 2021. It's a year later. Who is burning a corpse of a missing man a year later? But I guess they have to, they're investigating something, I guess. So, it was pretty badly damaged, but they were able to compare DNA to Davohnte's mom, and unfortunately it was not a match. So that was basically the last update in the case. But his mom, Terry, feels in her bones that her son is still alive out there somewhere. She said it doesn't feel like he's dead, but that maybe he's just somewhere where he can't call them, or he can't leave and come home. And she doesn't know where that might be, but the family continues to hold on to hope that one day they'll bring him home. As of right now, according to police, the case is still active and open and taking, any tips. They want to remind everyone that the tips, you can call in anonymously. They will keep it anonymous. The family has hired a private investigator and has put up a $25,000 reward for any information on the whereabouts of Davohnte. He is 5'11", slender build, with short black hair and a mustache and goatee. He has a tattoo on the top of his left hand. He walks with a slight limp. He was last seen wearing a black knit turtleneck shirt, black sweatpants, and 49ers flip-flops. Those with information about Davohnte or who may have surveillance footage of the morning of May 5th should contact MSPD at 530-926-7540. You can also contact Cook & Associates private investigators at 707-839-7422, and you can remain anonymous with that information, like I said. What's most important is finding out what happened to Davohnte, even if, it's not the outcome that we want, but we have to, find his family some peace. And I'll also link the missing flyer and all that in the show notes in case you didn't take down the number there. So that's it. It's really sad. It's really sad. And it's just like a mystery, but it's just...
I don't trust his girlfriend.
And I don't trust police.
Yeah.
And I don't trust white people.
Right.
And I am one. So
I don't trust white men.
So, yeah. Was it a cover-up? Was it his girlfriend? Was it the racist fucking community? We don't know. But Davohnte's still not home. So, I know we're kind of far away from California, so there's probably not a high likelihood that we can reach anybody out there, but just on the fucking 1% chance that our airwaves reach someone in California. 2020 was not that long ago, and Mount Shasta has definitely become a spiritual hotbed. So, maybe some of our fucking spooky ass listeners like us will have traveled there.
Well, let's see. I think we have listeners in California.
We're looking at you. Who was traveling during the pandemic? That's the other thing. It was during the pandemic. They couldn't have had that. Maybe it's because of the pandemic that the streets were so empty and hardly anybody saw anything. Because if you look at the footage, the streets were empty. I mean, he was just there were hardly any cars driving by. So few witnesses.
Yeah, and at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
We do have listeners in California.
Hey, you got any tips? Have you seen Davohnte? I like that smile. His family wants him home. And if you did something to Davohnte, fuck's wrong with you? Turn yourself in. Yeah. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Tamara, for being my co-host.
You're welcome.
My partner in life.
Don't say that too loud.
My ride or die. We always have trouble wrapping these up. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Fearfulfriendspodcast.
Send us an email, your crazy stories.
Fearfulfriendspodcast@gmail.com.
All right. Bye, friends.
Bye.